it's Corrina, your virtual health coach. I've done several videos on this channel discussing detoxification, and usually there are a lot of kind of skeptical comments and questions about why detoxification is even an issue in the first place. So as toxins accumulate in the body, and the body loses its ability to flush and get rid of those toxins as well as it normally is able to do on its own, we see a lot of different problems that result. So one of the first things that we can think about is that stubborn belly fat. So part of the reason that the body stores fat around the midsection is that it's the closest place, right? It's in the digestive tract, it's in the stomach, and boom, there's all of this visceral fat or fat kind of stored around the organs. Now, what you need to know about fat is that it's basically a storage unit for toxicity. So the more that you accumulate toxins, the more that your body creates fat in order to store up all that toxicity. Now it's kind of a feedback loop, right? Because now you are accumulating fat, and because there's so many toxins stored in that fat, your body is actually more hesitant to get rid of it, more hesitant to burn it off. So things that help to support detoxification are going to be really effective for getting rid of that fat. Because until your body can actually detoxify and get rid of some of those toxic materials, then that fat burning that you want to do in that area is going to be largely impeded. Now, let's talk specifically about some foods and herbs to help support this process and improve your health overall, whether it's weight loss you're going for or really any kind of improved health issue. These foods are going to be very, very, very helpful for that. Antioxidants are a very important part of this whole detoxification equation. And if you've ever taken a bite of an apple and then left it sitting on the table, you'll notice it starts to get brown over time. That's oxidation. And this process actually happens inside of our body as well. So while oxygen is one of the most important life-giving components, it also is responsible for this oxidative damage that can kind of damage our tissues, damage our healthy cells, and contribute to various disease states. So when we increase the antioxidants in our diet, we help to combat this oxidative stress and promote healthy tissues, healthy cells within the body. Now, glutathione is one of the most important antioxidants, and it's an antioxidant that our body actually creates on its own. So there are certain foods you can eat to help promote the production of glutathione in the body. One of my favorite ones is actually watermelon. We can also eat things like avocados, walnuts, and asparagus that also help to promote this glutathione production. So another important component of supporting detoxification, helping your body get the bad stuff out, is getting a good amount of fiber in your diet. And vegetable or plant-based fiber is really going to be the best way to go about doing this. Not only do we get tons of vitamins, enzymes, minerals, and other beneficial nutrients from those vegetables, but the fiber that they contain helps to promote this healthy digestive tract. And a healthy digestive tract is a healthy detoxification system. The World Health Organization estimates that nearly 80% of people around the globe use herbs for part of their primary health care. And it calls forth an interesting question, and that is the value of plants and plant-based foods in helping to support the body in doing all of these really important processes. So my sponsor today is Life Change Tea, getthetea.com, and they have created a really powerful and highly concentrated herbal tea. And the entire objective is to help support these natural processes of detoxification in the body. When we hear about a tea to help with detox, or we hear about foods that are good for detoxification, what you are hearing is that these are plants or foods that help to support the liver. They help to support the kidneys and gallbladder, our really important detox organs. And in various ways, these phytochemicals, or the chemicals found in plants, actually have antioxidant capabilities, anti-inflammatory properties, and there are different ways that, for instance, herbs like those found in this tea can actually help to soothe the inflamed lining of our digestive tract, or sometimes if you get a sore, itchy throat. These certain herbs have a property called mucilage and demulcent, and these properties actually will soothe those mucous membranes. So herbs have been used for thousands of years. So the use of herbs, it's important to note, is something that has been around for a really long time. A lot of times when I make these videos, people will kind of leave very skeptical comments that, there's more skepticism about the plants and the herbs than there are about pharmaceutical drugs. But I just want to point out that these have been around for exponentially more time than the pharmaceutical drugs. They've been used in many, many different cultures. As far back as Plato and Papyrus, Virgil, there are many, many early recordings of medicinal usage of herbs. Now, to go a little bit more specific into some of the herbs in this tea and why this tea is called life change tea, why so many people have had benefits from it, let's take a little bit closer look at the ingredients. The first one is blessed thistle. As early as the 16th century, there are recordings of blessed thistle being used for medicinal purposes. It has long been used to treat fever, indigestion, heartburn, and it was even used to treat the bubonic plague. The next herb is holy thistle, which is known to support the liver, gallbladder, and it stimulates gastric juices. It also aids in blood purification by supporting the kidneys. Malva leaf and marshmallow. Now, these two herbs contain the properties I mentioned earlier, which are demulcent and mucilage. So mucilage means that there's literally a property of the herb that kind of is almost a jelly-like substance and will actually coat the inflamed lining of your digestive walls or inside of the throat. If you have a sore and itchy throat, can actually soothe that area and kind of coats and protects it. Demulcent is also known to have a very soothing effect on irritated mucous membranes. So you can think about the inside of the mouth, the inside of the nose. These very delicate mucous membranes are there to protect us from toxins. Which means that they can become targets of inflammation. They can become irritated over time. So that demulcent property actually soothes those mucous membranes. Marshmallow can also be used topically on the skin, and it will have this same soothing effect. Persimmon leaf is another herb that has been used for a very long time. It is known to have actually kind of an allergy and itching preventative effect. So some people with allergies can actually have very significant improvement by taking persimmon leaf. When we think about itching, when we think about inflammation, this kind of red swelling is an immune response. And inflammation is a very, very important part of why we are able to survive in the toxic environments we live in, because that inflammation response will come in and target any toxins and foreign invaders. Now, the result, and anybody who's ever had a cut or a scrape on their arm and see how that inflammation looks and feels, can understand that when the internal environment of the body becomes inflamed, this can have very negative effects. So we can think about indigestion, acid reflux. There's all kinds of different issues, like even leaky gut, that's going to result when the intestinal tract becomes inflamed. Again, processed foods, alcohol, all of these different things contribute to this inflammation in the body. So, persimmon leaf has this kind of anti-inflammatory effect, and in this way can be very effective for reducing allergies, itching, etc. Sarsparilla is a general cold and flu tonic. Again, it also has anti-inflammatory effects. Ginger root is also known to soothe the stomach and can even be very effective for reducing nausea. And papaya enzymes, which are proteolytic, which means they break down proteins, and are also known to help support healthy digestion. On that note, papaya, in itself, eating the fruit, is also very beneficial for helping to support detoxification. Other fruits like apples and pineapples also contain these various benefits, the flavonoids, the pectin, and the fiber that help to promote this good digestion and detoxification. Now, it's important to note with anything that's going to help promote detoxification in the body, you don't want to overdo it. Because understand that when you're detoxifying, all right, and this is a process your body's doing all the time, right? So those toxins are stored in your fat. They're stored throughout your body. And the body pulls them through the kidneys, cleaning out your blood, or through the gallbladder if it's fat, right? Pulls them through, and then they have to exit your body via your sweat, via your digestive system or your urine. So when those toxins come to the surface, that can be an unpleasant situation. So if you detox too quickly, you can actually go into a bit of an over detox, you could say. So people may break out in their face. They may have acne breakouts. They may even have headaches. There are some other kind of issues associated with detoxing too quickly. So I just caution you to be aware of that. Now, especially if you're someone who's been eating a lot of processed foods your entire life, your body is very, very toxic. So you don't want to detox too quickly. And I just encourage you to really pay attention to how you're feeling when you're doing any kind of detox, because if you go too strong, too fast, you could actually end up feeling worse. Now, in general, holistic healing philosophy, it's understood that oftentimes the problem can get worse before it gets better. So if you start taking a product like this and you actually feel worse at first, understand that could just be the body detoxifying and healing. Now, long term, you should feel better after taking the tea, okay? So if you have negative results for a long time, perhaps you want to consider if you want to talk to your doctor and determine maybe detoxification isn't right for you. If you're taking any kind of pharmaceutical drugs, you also want to talk to your doctor about any type of issues there may be between the herbs and the drugs that you're taking. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. I want to thank Life Change Tea for sponsoring this video and giving me the opportunity to share this information with you. I really hope that you will subscribe to this channel if you aren't already, so that you can come back and join us again for our future videos. If you'd like to learn more about me and my health coaching practice, you can visit me at CorrinaRachel.com. Thank you again, and I look forward to seeing you again in the next video.